So let's take a brief overview of Effecthouse UI. We've created a basic project and we have this nice little window. Here at the center, we have the scene view, and at the bottom, we have the visual scripting view. Here on the left, we have the hierarchy, the assets panel, and we have the inspector. The inspector is a context-sensitive panel. It basically means anything we have selected will actually see the properties being highlighted on the inspector. Here, I click the General tab. By default, Effecthouse is going to create a camera, a directional light, and an environment. This is a stage scene for a 2D object. We can switch this back to 2D or switch this back to show the 3D scene. It was on our 2D scene, that's why we saw this image. Let's look at the top menu. Here, we can find out information about Effecthouse, manage our effects, change our preferences, check for updates, log out, or minimize or exit. The file menu, we can create a new project, open projects, or open our recent projects. The edit menu is going to allow us to undo or redo, copy, paste, and duplicate transforms. The help menu will allow us to submit a report ticket or create a user guide. And we can change the language here. Basic stuff. Here, we have our learning resources, which will open up a website to show you more access to tools. Our asset library contains assets you can actually use in your own projects. Assets could be materials, image textures, sounds, card, animations, and lots more. Here is our visual scripting section, and this just opens up and hides the panel window. So if I click on this, our visual scripting window is gone, and if I click on the Show 2D, I can just see the 2D view in our scene. Here, we'll click the preview window. The preview window allows us to preview any effect we have applied to an object model. You can either use the preview or you can use your camera. When you turn on your camera, any effect you create, you can actually simulate that effect on your own face, which is a handy and fun way to do this. Next, we have the quick access bar, which is just an access bar at the top where we can bring in most of the templates and a lot of stuff in Effecthouse. I'll just close that. And then we have the TikTok sound section. We can add sounds and edit them here. Note, each time a window is highlighted, it's in blue, and you can use that to organize your scene. Over here at the right, at the top, we can test the performance to see whether our effect is having a very high tool on our mobile device. We can create an icon for our effects using our templates, or we can upload an image. Over here, we can preview the effect on TikTok Live if you're logged in. And finally, you can submit your effect. The asset panel contains a section where you can import your custom assets like your images, your audios, or your animations, or 3D models. You can also import assets from the asset library, as we've seen here at the top, and you can bring them into our project. It's based onto categories like stickers, transitions, or backgrounds. Feel free to play around with the asset library and download any backgrounds or effects you want in your scene. Like I mentioned, the inspector panel is context sensitive, and each time we select any element, we'll see the properties of the element on the right-hand side of the screen. On the 3D view, you can navigate around by holding the middle mouse button. You can click on objects and move these objects using the transform scale. You can hold right-click and rotate. While you're holding right-click, you can pan up and down and rotate using the left and right while holding the right mouse button. That's the 3D view. If we go back to the 2D view by clicking on Show 2D, we can't really work on that, but if we right-click, we could just grab and pan around. Note, you can zoom in and out by clicking the minus button or the plus button, and we can also rotate by holding left-click and dragging this in any angle or direction we want. All right, that's a broad overview of the Effect House user interface. Remember, there are also ways we can add subcomponents and interactions. This is just a brief overview, and we haven't really created any project. In our next lesson, we'll take a look at a basic Effect House template and understand how things are being set up. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.